These are my two favorite altcoin charts at the moment. The first chart that we are looking at is MATIC, guys, and this is a beauty of a chart. What we are looking at over here is a beautiful range with range pivot number 1 over here, range pivot number 2 and number 3 over here, and then we have range pivot number 4 over here as well, giving us a high probability range. When we look at the respect of the mid-range, we can see that it is getting respected as support and resistance many times, and the same goes for this quarterly level over here as well, and also this quarterly level over here, as you can see, getting respected as support and resistance, which is confirming the importance and giving us a valid high probability range to trade. Now we can see that we have a deviation above the range high over here, followed by a deviation below the range low. Now what happened after this deviation of the range low is important, because we shifted the trend to the upside over here on the 4-hourly time frame, which is the first thing that I'm noticing. But what is more important is what happens afterwards, because what happens afterwards when we look at the 1-hourly time frame is super interesting, because we can see that we have this range low level that I've marked out over here, correct? We can see that we have resistance once, resistance twice, resistance 3 times, 4 times, and then over here we burst through that resistance with a very aggressive push. Now when we mark out the resistance area like this with the rectangle, we can see that we burst through that key resistance area and we start consolidating above that area. We know that in order to determine the liquidity, we have to get into the mind of the retail trader. What was the retail trader thinking when they saw that the price was finding resistance at the exact same place 4 times in a row, and at the 5th test, the price burst through that area with a lot of aggressiveness and a lot of volume? What do we think that retail traders were thinking? They were thinking the price was breaking out and that it should continue higher from there. So what do? They either open up longs on this push up over here, or they open up longs during this consolidation area, or what they can do as well is open up longs on the pullback. Now, where do these people put their stop? They put their stop beneath this local low over here. Why is that? Because they think, okay, we have the range low as support as well, right? So we shouldn't fall beneath it anymore. So they think I can use a tight stop loss, which gives me a decent RR whenever I open up a long trade, let's say, for example, over here with my stop loss over here, and they have a very obvious target, which is this big wick over here. Let's say they target that big wick. They're looking at a beautiful RR trade, guys, of 3.65. So a lot of retail traders opened up a long, put their stop beneath this local low over here, providing us with a beautiful liquidity pool. So what does price do afterwards? It goes and pushes towards that liquidity pool that we are now currently mitigating. If we analyze a local trend over here, which is the final confirmation and the final trigger that we need in order to get a high probability long setup, if we analyze that local trend, we can see that we form a high, a higher low, then you can see that we form a slight higher high over here. We sweep the previous high, and by forming a higher high, this becomes a significant low to break. We break that low, so we shift the trend on the 1-hourly time frame, which is why we cannot set limit long orders yet on MATIC, because we are in a local downtrend. Then we form, as you guys can see, a lower low, followed by a lower high and another lower low. Now what is interesting is that we have this significant lower high over here that exactly aligns with, indeed, that range low area. So the trigger to get into a long setup on MATIC is super simple. We need to break through this local high over here, open and close candles above that significant high on the 1-hourly time frame, and then afterwards we can, after we get that confirmation, ladder in limit long orders with our stop loss beneath the local low, and we can target the mid-range as our first objective. Let's say we open up a trade something like this. We are looking at a high probability, high RR trade of 4.81, everything according to my system, offering us a beautiful A+ long setup. Now, if you don't get that trigger, the price might form another lower low, maybe another lower high, another lower low. In that case, guys, patiently wait for a reclaim of that range low and a break of this high over here in order to position yourself long. Usually I would say that breaking through the new significant high is enough, but I would really wait for some sign of strength, which would be a reclaim of this range low area in confluence with them. Besides Forex and commodity trading, REMEXT has now also introduced crypto futures trading. So you can now also trade Bitcoin, Ethereum and the numerous amounts of altcoins. Next to the fact that I think that REMEXT to trade Forex and commodities with your own funds instead of trading at prop firms like Private Funded, I think REMEXT is the best place to do so. Make sure to sign up with the link down below in the description to receive a 7% deposit bonus. Break above this high and then you can play the higher low, right? So until you get a clear reclaim of that range low, in confluence with a break of structure to the upside, there's no long trigger and no long trade on MATIC and the price can continue to the downside. Now you might be wondering, but Guru, why do we not look for shorts? Because the daily trend is up and the hour 4 trend is up. And if both of them are trending to the upside, there's no way in my entire life that I will look for shorts on MATIC or any other altcoin. The next chart that is looking very interesting is INJ. Pivot number 1 for the range, pivot number 2 for the range, pivot number 3 and number 4 for the range over here. We can see that after a deviation of the range high, price goes for the sell-side liquidity pool around the range low. We had liquidity resting over here and we had liquidity resting over here. What I really like about this chart is that we sweep the liquidity beneath these lows, but that so far we are looking at a front run of this very significant low over here. Now, why do I like the front run of that significant low? It is because of the fact that I think that many people that accumulated shorts on this move to the downside, they are looking to take their first batch of profits over here. Once they take profits of their position right there, that means that they either tighten their stop loss to break even, or if they close their entire position around that low, that their entire stop loss has vanished. So that means that if there's no stops of shorts resting to the upside anymore, there's no liquidity resting to the upside anymore. And if there's no liquidity or not enough liquidity resting to the upside, why would smart money, why would the bigger players in this market reverse the price to the upside if there's no liquidity to target? Because if there's no liquidity to target, smart money doesn't get the opportunity to get rid of the long and buy positions that they accumulate at the range lows. If there's no liquidity to sell to, how are they going to get rid of their spot and long position? Right? Because if they want to sell, a lot of people need to buy from them. And in order for people to buy from them, there needs to be some sort of liquidity pool that they can target in order to get rid of them backs. So I really like the way that we front run it. After we front run it, we can see local trend. We form a high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. We break the trend. So that means that it is very simple for INJ, guys. As long as this low over here of this deviation below that pivotal quarterly level. Why is this pivotal, guys? Huge support, huge support, huge support, and huge support of that quarterly level that was also providing resistance over here. Pivotal quarterly level that we have potentially deviated beneath. Now we might potentially start a smaller second deviation, which is all fine and well, but as long as this low holds, guys, we are currently simply pulling back into the discount area of this previous impulse. So as long as this local low holds, in my opinion, guys, INJ should, technically speaking, be pushing towards the upside from here, at least towards the mid-range and eventually towards the range high and maybe even a new all-time high for INJ. So am I building a swing long on INJ already? Yes, I am. For your exact entry point, stop loss and take profit targets, guys, obviously you guys have to join the VIP channel in a Discord server. But I think with this information, you can already determine for yourself how you want to build this swing long setup on INJ. I do really like the chart on INJ. I think a potential midterm bottom could be in over here, according to my system. And yes, guys, I might be wrong. But what I'm doing is that I'm risking only 1% of my entire trading portfolio on this setup. So if I lose, I only lose 1%. Important is that you have a clear system with clear triggers. You follow your system, you stay true to your system with correct risk management. And over time, you will win more trades than you lose. So over time, you will be profitable. And I've made huge profits over the past months and the past weeks, according to my system. So even if I lose this one, I know that over time, I will win much more trades than I would lose. And the RR of the trades that I win will be a lot bigger compared to the R that I lose when I hit stop loss. Right? So I know that my system can be trusted, and I think according to my system, this is a pretty nice trade that has been developing on INJ. So let's see if it plays out. Let's see if MATIC will also provide us with a beautiful long trigger, and then I'm willing to add another long position to the current long position that I'm running on INJ. And I'm also running a long position on near protocol, but that stop loss is already in profit, so I'm not going to bother you guys with sharing that one. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to smash out the like button and subscribe to our channel, and I'll catch you guys on Friday's video. Ciao, ciao!